Our next item is for discussion and vote to reopen Jellico Regional Hospital. We do have two proposals. We have CHM and then we have Phoenix Rural Health. And that's the two proposals that we've been presented. I'd like to ask the council to just discuss and can we go into executive session?
No.
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept Phoenix Rural Health's proposal.
I'll second that.
We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion at this time? Marshall, will you call the roll?
Atkins. No. Barton.
No.
Boland.
Yes.
Creekmore.
No.
And then
Yes.
I make the motion we accept the offer from CHM.
Any discussion? I do have some questions as to some information that I was able to pull on CHM with some litigation issues. There is some litigation issues against Robert Hudson, and that is with M&H Development, Practice Administrative Systems, 21 Properties Limited Liability Company, and the 21st Amendment Limited Liability Company. Is that something that
That's not related to
You all
our
are-
company. That's related to his personal businesses that he has outside of our hospital management. That is a real estate dispute, Bob. Mr. Hudson is here, but our company is not involved in any litigation with our hospital properties that we manage or oversee.
Okay, that's something I just need.
Yeah, no, I was a little shocked when you said that, because no, there's no litigation or anything involved with
Yeah, because
our
I've done
hospital.
my homework on both companies today.
That's important. I mean, we are completely transparent, have nothing to hide, so Bob, if there's anything that you want to add, it's a real estate dispute, it's not a hospital real estate dispute, oh my God.
Okay, and also when you all formed your company, formed your company on May the 17th of 2024.
So that is a newly formed company with our physicians who have come together. It's a new company, but we still manage the other properties and hospitals that we talked about, just under a different legal name. So we are rebranding under Community Hospital Management. So I brought financial statements from one of the hospitals that we manage.
But when you formed your company, you are a for-profit organization.
We are privately held by a group of physicians that is for-profit, yes. But when we run our hospitals, we run those as not-for-profit.
Because in your proposal, you do state that you will establish a non-profit
Correct.
Organization.
So that
to run
you
the
can
hospital.
get 501c3 status, then you're recognized as a charity by the IRS. You can run a foundation
Yes, ma'am.
under that, get donations, and do fundraising and get grants.
And so then you go on to say that the hospital will apply for critical access hospital status, followed by rural emergency hospital status.
Correct.
If the REH status is not granted by CMS, then CHM reserves the right to terminate the agreement.
Yes, and the reason why we put that in there for complete transparency is the previous hospital organization was shut down by CMS, and that's why the hospital closed. We have not seen what that deficiencies that were cited looks like, so we don't know the reasons why CMS shut them down other than what we were verbally told. And when you go to credential with CMS, if you do not address the deficiencies that they cited, they will not allow you to reopen your hospital.
Correct.
So if there's an issue that we don't know about for lack of transparency, then we don't want to be stuck with an agreement that we can't then fulfill our obligations and be stuck with the lease payment on a building that we can't then reopen. So it's a protection because we haven't been given any information. We weren't invited to the last emergency called meeting. We found out about it from the community, and we, in full transparency, were surprised by that because we've given multiple proposals to the council. And so that everyone here knows, the first proposal that we presented to you all gives you an option that no matter who your management company or operator is, if you have a dispute with them or they leave, then your hospital doesn't have to close. But that's not what this council wanted. And so you're gonna go through the same thing the next time, or if this council ever makes the decision to make a change. The hospital has to close, a new company has to come in and has to go through the credentialing process all over again. Because the way that you have it historically set up is that provider number with Medicare and Medicaid, the national provider number is called an NPI number, doctors have it, the facility has it. It's tied to the company that owns that LLC or 501c3 organization. So when they no longer conduct business, they own that NPI number, and there's nothing you can do about that. So you're gonna find yourself in the same situation if you don't do something different than what you've always done. So just for full transparency, I mean, we would be willing to rediscuss that first proposal. I know at the time we had not discussed, doing a lease payments for the building, but however, I also don't think that the city understood that you guys would own the 501c3 and we would just manage it for a management fee. You would get all the collections from the billings. You could then decide what you wanted to do. If you had $5 million in the bank, you could decide if you're gonna donate some to the city or donate something to, whatever. It would be your alls to decide what to do. We would only be managing the fiscal operations of the building and the organization. And so there's a real benefit to that, in that if you have a dispute with us or whoever, just keep that in mind when you make your decision, because you don't want to have to go through this over and over and over again every 5 years or 10 years or 3 years, and then the building shuts down, you go through the same process that you've been going through, and then it's a credentialing nightmare all over again. So just keep that in mind.
So you are formally employed with Carroll County, correct?
I am employed with Carroll County as their CEO, and I've been there for 5 years, but we also are managed by the group that we are representing Community Hospital Management.
Are you under contract with them?
I am,
And how long is your contract good for?
2 more years.
2 more years. So that would enable you to be down here like you need to be. So would Jennifer be the one that would be here in
No,
your
I would
place?
be here just as much as Jennifer. We stated we would all be here at
But
least.
that, would that
every
break your
week.
contract with your former employer?
I do not have a non-compete with them. I do not
That's
have a
something
non-compete.
I needed clarified
Yeah,
for myself.
complete transparency. I also do work for the National Rural Health Association and the
I knew
Kentucky
you-
Office of Rural Health.
Work for them.
And I do advocacy with some of the national groups. I travel a lot. I'm involved deeply with rural healthcare. I can go down my resume if you guys want to hear it, but I go to Washington DC every February and advocate for 4 days with our senators and our congressmen on behalf of the states that I represent. I do consulting work for hospitals in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Alabama, Florida. I mean, I'm kind of all over the place because it's a passion. I'm certified through the National Rural Health Association as a rural hospital CEO. I'm in the National Rural Health Association Fellowship Program for 2024, writing a policy paper on advocating for better reimbursement for paramedicine in the rural communities, allowing paramedics to be able to do some home health care because there's such a shortage. And I know a lot of the regulations inside and out from a rural health standpoint. So I'm happy and fully transparent, happy to answer any questions that anybody has about myself. Our financial backers are a group of doctors made up of multi-specialties that want to do more for rural health.
So will you establish a board of directors?
Yes, and we talked about that in one of our conversations, and I think it might have been in our second proposal, but we would want our board of directors to be made up of at least half of the members be members of your city council. And you would have direct input on the strategic vision of the direction of the hospital. We talked about doing a community health needs assessment and listening to the voices of the community, and we also understand that there are some side discussions that have been happening about addiction, recovery, and maybe some of the clinics that we had talked about in our proposal, but that's not something that the city council wants to move forward with. So we're open to that. We just know that we have been told by members in the community that that wasn't it. So, you know, the community health needs assessment is going to be something that tells you a lot about the needs of your community outside of having an emergency room and a hospital open.
So if we revisited that first office, would that require an investment on the city's part though?
No, there's no monetary investment from you all. We would loan you the money like we talked about in the first proposal. The money would come from us just like it would in this last proposal. The money would come from us. We would just pay ourselves back over like a 5-year time frame. And then, I mean, you could vote to pay us back earlier than that if you wanted to, you know, but to not,
Be taking out a loan.
right.
Yeah.
And so basically, I mean, our doctors have the money. It would just be, we would be loaning it to the hospital organization that the city owns. So it puts the
I'm not
ownership,
about putting the city in debt for anything.
yeah, but it puts the ownership of the hospital organization itself, not just the building and the assets, back in the city's hands, so that you're not in this position again.
It's still a 12% repayment fee
We're open to negotiating that.
and a 10% management fee.
That was our original proposal that we didn't get any feedback on, you know, after the day that we were here. I mean, we're open to negotiating terms, all that can be worked out, but we just want, I mean, we want what's best for this community and this structure. That's why I bring it up now. This structure allows you that no matter who runs it, because you might decide that you don't like me, or you don't like Jennifer, or you don't like the people that we hire, and you decide that you don't want to do business with us, that's okay. But then you're not stuck closing down the hospital and waiting again the 3 to 6 months for credentialing, having to, do your due diligence on a company that, to be a good fit. And we all want the same thing. Everybody wants the hospital to be back open.
Thank you.
Marcia, will you call the roll? Atkins?
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Boland,
No.
Creekmore,
Yes.
and Mitten.
No.
Three yeses, 2 noes.
So I guess that's CHM. We accept the proposal from them. We have a motion to adjourn.